Hey everyone, I have here the LEGO Star Wars Yoda's Jedi Starfighter set, the 2023 version. It just came out. This has 253 pieces, and I built it live over on my Twitch channel. Be sure to follow me over there if you want to see some chill live builds and hang out with the community. This cost me $35 US, and if by any chance you're interested in purchasing it, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can check out one of my affiliate links in the video description. So obviously it comes with just Yoda and R2, nothing else. I'll go ahead and put these in there because I think that's important to establish, I don't know, much of this. I feel like a large portion of this is the figures and integrating them in there. You've got the canopy that opens partway. It's a little bit blocked by the cannons there, but then the top also opens up. This entire set does rely pretty heavily on stickers for most of its markings, but not for the front of the canopy. So obviously he's got the short legs, so he's got to stand up there, right? Put the arms down just a little bit, and there you go. It's got the spring-loaded shooters on the sides. These wings open up all the way to their proper angles. Looking at reference images, I found that this second version of this ship from LEGO looks more accurate, looks more like the real thing, the real on-screen animated drawn version of it, or rendered version of it from the Clone Wars, than the first one that they did. So, which is strange because to me, this one doesn't look as good as the previous one. I guess I just don't like the overall design of Yoda's, is it like Eta 2 Custom, Eta 2Y, Eta 2B? I didn't look up the official designation of this thing. I think it's a little bit silly that it exists in universe and they didn't just give him like a booster seat or something with the, to create an entirely new airframe for one dude. Doesn't make sense. Unless Yaddle had one of these also, I guess, for all of them. You got the twin engines back there. This has the built-in spring-loaded shooters and the wings are able to open and close. Now, when the wings are open like this, doesn't like to stand on the ground, right? Doesn't stay straight. It always falls forward. So for a little bit more stability there, just fold the undersides, and then you still have a little bit of the nicer shape of the upper parts. But then these will also fold down in the proper landed form. These are super thick. I really don't like the look of this personally as much as the original one. The wing sections are looking extra thick. And it just feels a little bit awkward, although the top-down view is very good. And the build for it definitely made sense. This is actually two stickers right here. There's a little bit of blemish in one of them. But you can put those nice and close together. I appreciate that. They give you the option there. It's interesting they use flick-fire missiles very, very near the end. If it wasn't the last step, right here, you put a flick-fire missile in with a little bushing behind, half bushing, to stop the wings from opening too far. That's interesting. And then finally, there's a spot where you can attach Yoda's lightsaber here, which that doesn't really work, but that's a little bit better, right? You got to hold it by the blade. At least there is a place to put it. It's not the most canonically sensible thing, but there is a place to put it. I do appreciate that. And if you don't like it, just don't use it. R2 does sit a little bit too high in this. Could have been maybe at least 2 plates lower, I think. He does have to stick out awkwardly far no matter what, even in universe. But yeah, overall, the thing kind of does its job for what it's supposed to be. Doesn't look particularly worse from many angles. Got a couple of little red bits that show up, but for the most part, it's a fine toy. This is officially a Clone Wars set, but thankfully they're not reverting back to the weird version, weird styling that LEGO came up with to represent Clone Wars characters. This is just a regular Yoda, and it's a regular R2 as well. It is an R2 that has printing on the back, thank goodness. Hopefully we'll continue to see more of that. We won't have exclusivity starting to show up. I mean, this is a relatively inexpensive set, so it's nice to see that, and I hope that we'll get more good prints and just upgraded versions of especially important characters in the future that will be widely available and not just limited to more expensive sets. Pretty good printing for Yoda here as well, I think, including the hair on the back and a nice consistent frosting with no bubbles in the trans bright green lightsaber blade. And finally, there are the leftover parts and a look at the size of the sticker sheet. Again, I paid $35 US for this. It is 35 euros, 30 pounds UK, $45 Canadian, which equates to approximately 34 US dollars. And I personally just looking at the amount of stuff in front of me here and having built it recently, so remembering the build experience, I would love to see this at about 25. That's where I would like to be at with it. And I could see Lego in 2023 with everything being hyper-inflated, such as it is, in my view at least. I could see it being sold for 30 even. So yeah, it's just a little bit over. I think a small discount on this would bring it within the realm of reasonability. The design is fine. Again, it looks better. It looks more like the source material. It doesn't look as good to me personally from some angles, but that's a personal thing. The figures are fine. The worst thing about it, in my opinion, is just the flimsiness of the feeling of flimsiness of the wings. They're not going to fall off. They just don't feel good here to me personally. And obviously you got to put it into the flattened form to have it sitting down. It doesn't come with a stand, and I just vastly prefer seeing at least the upper wings up like that. Being able to have all of them up would have been nicer. Would have required like one more piece to just hold this up from the ground. But that's it for my thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I will bring you more reviews soon. Bye for now.